Hi guys. I promise to give you an exercise every now and then, and this is an exercise that will help you um, observe and calm down, basically. It's a sort of a meditative exercise, and it's also an exercise to help you focus on observing the here and the now, and which is very important when you are studying nature, the ability um, to focus on whatever is around you. So, the exercise is very simple. What you need is a notebook or a sheet of paper and a pen or a pencil. That's all you need. Something to write on, perhaps a table or a drawing board, and maybe a cup of tea. And the time, the amount of time that you spend on this exercise, it depends on the time that you have. You can start with 2 minutes, but I actually love doing this exercise so much that I can do this for at least half an hour. My dog just came sniffing. So, what I need you to do is to sit down and to, if you need it, close your eyes, to write down everything you hear. You can do this outside, in your garden, on your balcony, or even in your house with an open window. So, the essence of the exercise is you sit down and you write down everything that you hear. And you write down only the unique sounds, so everything you hear for the first time, that in that specific space of time that you're giving yourself. For instance, right now I hear a motorcycle on a road nearby. I hear the humming of the motor of the engine of an aeroplane. I hear the footsteps of my dog passing by the table. This is a bird in the water, in the ditch right beside our house. I hear cars pulling up at the crossroads nearby. And you will notice that the longer you are sitting here, you will hear a lot of the same noises over and over again, so you don't have to write those down. You have to try and sharpen your hearing to filter out the new sounds that you didn't hear yet. So that was a little crow I heard. I heard a train, the freight train, passing by. And I heard a little bird that I don't know by the sound what bird it is. And another one, a finch. So that's all. The amount of time I like to spend is 20 to 30 minutes, but you can do this for a couple of minutes. What you have to realize is the longer you do this, the more calming it will be. You will feel much more grounded at the end of this session. And also, to improve your observation skills, you need to be able to sink into the moment and into the place where you are. And this is a very fantastic exercise that can easily replace morning meditation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the sounds that I heard. If you don't want to, you don't have to listen anymore. But I'm going to read to you all the sounds that I heard, that I observed in one of those sessions, just to serve as an example should you have any insecurities about how to go about it. Okay, so this was, I wrote this down last summer. And if you want to have a date, this was on the 21st of August, which comes in very handy, as you will notice, because you will see that I write down the sounds of certain animals that are only around in the summertime. So later on, if you go on into art journaling, you will know that there are specific seasons for every animal. It will help you determine what animal you hear and see. But that's an aside. That's not the essence of the exercise. The essence is to relax you when you're feeling stressed. The essence is to learn to observe, to learn to get really quiet inside. So, here we go. This is my list from last summer. Ambulance on the road. cowboy song from the phone of my neighbor, Harley Davidson. The fountain in our little pond. A barking dog far away. I'm translating in the meantime. The lid of a bin that's opening and closing behind our fence. The buzzing of flies. The wind rustling through the oh god. Now I have to come up with, I didn't really prepare this part because I actually thought I wrote it in English, but no, I didn't. The rustling of the wind through some plants nearby. An aeroplane that's very high in the sky. A husky voice from one of the neighbors. My dog being sick, throwing up. It really happened. A moped. Cars on the road nearby, of which the volume comes and goes with the flares of the wind. The noise of a pigeon flying over. A screaming pigeon. They actually do when they are fighting to mate. They actually scream. My dog dropping his bone because he's feeling sick, so he doesn't want to eat it. The buzzing of a lot of flies. Some go slow and others go very fast. A passing butterfly, which of course you can't hear. So no, you shouldn't write that down. Although you can write it down, but you didn't hear it, you see it. Someone closing a window. Church bells in the distance. A tin canned voice from someone calling our neighbors. An ambulance siren on the road here on its way back. The wind that moves everything. The engine of one of the tractors here in the orchard next to our home. A vacuum cleaner in the distance. Something walking through the plants, a mouse probably. High peeping like a mouse or a rat, or maybe our cat caught one. My bird screaming from the inside to me. My neighbor doing the dishes and clearing them, putting them back into the drawers. 2 shit flies who are zooming zoom 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 around each other, doing a little dance in the air. A plastic bin opening and closing, which was different from the bin I mentioned before because that was a big bin. My hand swiping over my page. Somebody putting a plastic bag into a, how do you say that? I don't know how to say it, but if this is a plastic bag and you turn it into a, that's what I heard. Somebody scraping something plastic on stone. A truck driving north. Screaming crows a little bit away. A pigeon landing clumsily on our feeding table. Another kind of pigeon making its noises to its lady. A little branch from a shrub, it's ticking against the fence. And I don't know if you notice, but the longer you sit and do this exercise, the more detailed your noises will become. You can't pay 100% attention from the moment you're starting. It grows. So it starts out with noticing the big things, and they get smaller and smaller and smaller and more defined all the time. A cooing pigeon coming close. An airplane flying over low, which makes a different noise from an airplane flying high. My page that is blown over. Some dry leaves that are blown over our pavement in the garden. In the far distance, I can hear the highway a starting engine from a car that's driving away in the street, our neighbor dog barking, neighbor boy saying you shouldn't bark to its dog, neighbors talking to each other, another neighbor who's coughing, cars starting their engines on the road, an ambulance far, far in the distance, a kitchen door is open and closed very, very hard, approaching tits, my neck croaking, or what do you call it? Croaking? No, it doesn't croak. Then sometimes your neck makes this noise. And a wasp that is buzzing angrily behind my head. So, this was it. I spent a great time writing all this down. I hope you will try this in the next coming days. If the weather is as great with you as it is here, it's not going to be a punishment to do so. And it's a great way of being outside. If you can do this in nature, that's perfect. But if you have to do this from your own home with an open window, that's just as great. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you like, you can share your lists in the group. It's kind of interesting to know what everyone is hearing in their little big world, because that's what we're describing here after all. So thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon. Bye.